This presentation is about women's suffrage. On July 4th, 1776, the United States of America became a country of freedom. That freedom didn't always come equally, though. White men were allowed to vote on state and on national levels, but women weren't. When the United States was first founded, married women couldn't own their own property, and they had no legal claim to any money they might earn. Women were expected to focus on housework and motherhood, not politics. Many women wanted the right to vote because they wanted a say in the laws that govern their everyday lives. They wanted equality in terms of voting for both genders. This is called women's suffrage. Three of the women that first started the movement were Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, and Lucretia Mott. In July of 1848, Stanton and Mott organized a convention in Seneca Falls of New York, which launched the idea of women being able to vote onto a national level. It was said at the convention that most of the Seneca Falls delegates agreed that American women were autonomous individuals who deserved their own political identities. The convention made women's right to vote a goal for the movement. A group of delegates led by Stanton produced a Declaration of Sentiments, a document modeled after the Declaration of Independence, which stated, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." What this meant, among other things, was that the delegates believed women should have the right to vote. In 1850, Worcester, Massachusetts is the site of the first National Women's Rights Convention. A strong alliance is formed with the abolitionist movement. In 1852, the issue of women's property rights is presented to the Vermont Senate by Claire Howard Nichols. This is a major issue for the suffragists because it is a right that was automatically granted to men but not to women. In 1866, Stanton and Anthony formed the American Equal Rights Association, an organization dedicated to the goal of suffrage for all regardless of gender or race. In 1868, the 14th Amendment is ratified, defining citizens and voters exclusively as male. This is a major setback for the suffragist movement. In 1869, the National Women's Suffrage Association was founded by Stanton and Anthony. In 1872, Anthony cast her ballot for Grant in the presidential election. She got arrested and was brought to trial in Rochester, New York. 15 other women were arrested that year for illegally voting as well. By 1878, the National Women's Suffrage Association had gathered enough influence to lobby the U.S. Congress for a constitutional amendment. Congress responded by forming committees in the House and the Senate to study and debate the issue. However, when the proposal finally reached the Senate floor in 1886, it was defeated. In 1887, the first vote on women's suffrage is taken in the Senate and is defeated. In 1890, the National American Women's Suffrage Association was founded. This new organization's strategy was to lobby for women's rights to vote on a state-by-state basis. Within 6 years, Colorado, Utah, and Idaho had adopted amendments to their state constitutions granting women the right to vote. In 1894, 600,000 signatures are presented to the New York State Constitutional Convention in a failed effort to bring a women's suffrage amendment to the voters. In 1912, women's suffrage is supported for the first time at the national level by a major political party, Theodore Roosevelt's Bull Moose Party. In 1914, the National Federation of Women's Clubs, which had over 2 million women members throughout the U.S., formally endorses the suffrage campaign. In 1915, 40,000 march in a New York City suffrage parade. Many women are dressed in white and carry placards with the names of the states they represent. In 1916, Woodrow Wilson states that the Democratic Party platform will support suffrage. In 1917, National Women's Party picketers appear in front of the White House holding 2 banners, "Mr. President, what will you do for women's suffrage?" and "How long must women wait for liberty?" In 1918, President Woodrow Wilson states his support for a federal women's suffrage amendment and addresses the Senate about adopting women's suffrage at the end of World War I. In 1919, the Senate finally passes the 19th Amendment and the ratification process begins. And on August 26, 1920, American women win full voting rights. Women's suffrage, like most things, faced challenges, but the women and supporters of the movement overcame all of their obstacles to prevail. They met so many challenges, but they had a goal set, and they were determined to reach it.